Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Office Hours Live. So welcome. If you're watching this right now and you're watching the either live or recorded version of this, then you're in the new Zenler official Facebook group, which means you've found us, you getting to understand what we're about, or you're an experienced user of us. Whatever you are, you're very welcome to come along, join us every single Wednesday on Office Hours Live and ask your questions. So as always, with me today, I've got Rakesh and David. Hi, guys.
Hiya.
Now, our focus for Office Hours is that we make ourselves available live in the Facebook group each and every week. We'll run through with you the changelog, which is all of the updates that have happened over the last week or so. Sometimes it's feature releases, sometimes it's enhancements to a feature, sometimes we have a really boring but critical report of actually we're stabilizing stuff and we keep on building the stability and usability behind the platform. We also have a feature focus, so if you're interested in finding out about something you may have overlooked in the system, David runs through that with you in a little while. I'll run through some of the assets that we have available to you, which we built here at Zenler build for you for free, so you can use Zenler to the very best of its capabilities for your business. And just as important, we'll take your questions live. So if you are watching us, you've got a burning question, doesn't matter if you've been with us for an hour or for a few years, type in your question, we will answer it whilst we're on live, and we'll come back onto the replay afterwards as well. So if you're watching it on the replay, please do still contribute to this. But as always, to kickstart the show off, we're here for about half an hour-ish, so hopefully you get to see us live. But to kickstart the show off, I always hand over to Rakesh, who goes through the changelog. So Rakesh, if you take away the changelog, please, for this week.
Cool. Thanks, Kevin. Hope you can hear me, Kevin.
Yep.
Cool. Hey, everyone. On this live office hours, you can ask us anything, and we'll try our best to answer it live. If we can't, we'll try to answer it later on. So yeah, do post your questions in the chat below, and we will definitely try and answer them. Usually we have loads of updates in the changelog every week, but we actually have a change freeze in place in light of all the Black Friday activity that's going on. So we are just holding back so that this week, so that we don't want to push major changes in. So this means no changes in this week, but lots of changes are planned for next week and so on. Quite a lot of exciting stuff coming next week and in the next coming weeks. And the major ones, I can just touch upon the major ones that are coming up very soon. We're going to double up the video upload, the file upload limits. So currently, I think lots of people have been cribbing about, size limits of 1 gig. They need to always run it through Handbrake. It's always better to run it past Handbrake, but we are doubling up from 1 gig to 2 gig so that you will be able to upload larger file sizes, be it video or be it PowerPoint, any type of file size. You will, once the change is in, hopefully soon, you will be able to do file sizes up to 2 gig rather than 1 gig. And also coming up is live class lesson type. So you will be able to add a live class onto your course, onto your lesson, and then it's going to pop up when it's going to go live, when you're going live, and then students can enter the live class or the live session without needing any registration. So it kind of removes that friction, and then boom, they are straight into the live class. And basically you're streaming live class right into your course. So if they want, they can take it right in the course, or they can opt to take it via Zoom. So we'll have two options as well. And also we're also working on adding pricing to live class and live webinars. So for the first time ever, you will be able to sell live classes, sell live webinars, including coupons and all of that. That's coming up nicely, and it's hopefully soon we will be able to ship that. And for the EU sellers, we are also working on adding EU tax categories, so you can select whether you're going to add tags, add UVAT if you want to exempt from UVAT, whether it's physical, whether it's services, all sorts of tax categories you can assign to a particular product. That this is coming for course, and this is also coming for live pricing as well. So it's coming to both sides. This has been a long pending one and long standing one from EU sellers. And finally, I think we will be addressing that soon. And also we are working on bulk actions. So a lot of users want to unenroll in bulk. So if you want to select like 10 users or 20 users and then remove them or delete them. So currently, if you try to delete them, it says, you need to first unenroll the users. So now we will have different, lots of bulk actions where you can add tag in bulk, remove tag in bulk, all sorts of bulk actions, including, deleting the users, even if they enrolled and all of that, bulk and unenrollment and so on. And another big thing that we're working on is the new page editor. We are working on completely revamping the page editor along with page editor themes and so on. Now that is a very huge work, and it's going to take some time. I think that's about it from the Changelog side. Back to you, Kevin.
Awesome. Thanks, Rakesh. So as you can hear, lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff being worked on. And it's really interesting because when people come into the group and they're asking for certain things, we do as a team take notice of what you as a user want. That doesn't mean you're always going to get what you want, because that's life. However, what it does mean is we will make a note of it. We will listen to what the community are asking for. And if it's possible to do, we'll look at how we can add that into the schedule of development. Sometimes that does take a little while, but we have a really good relationship with the community here. We want to make our users use it to the best effect. And if that means there's something missing and it's possible we can add it in, then we'll look at doing that. But what we can't promise is, one, it will 100% happen, and two, when it will happen. But we are listening to the feedback that you give us. Now, one of the things that I really love about New Zenler is the fact that it's built and designed for people that are not technical. It's built originally for course creators. It's a learning management system, and the ease of use is part of its attraction. Now, over time, it's developed. It's become an all-in-one system, so we can have it as our website. We can have lead magnets on there. We can have blog posts on there. We can do all sorts of wonderful things. However, a lot of people I've seen recently coming into the community and saying, look, I don't know where to start. There's so much going on here. And it's quite true that there is a lot of stuff. When we look at the tutorial site in a minute, you'll see that our big masterclass course, our big course in there, it's huge because there's a lot of features there. But what you don't need to do is understand all of them from day one. You've got to work out your own plan and take it at your own pace and find out what's important to you. Now, we've set you up with a quick start guide. So let's take a look at some of our resources first. So if we go to tutorial.newzenler.com, this is our training area. And over here, you'll see that we've got, I'll come to the resources drop down in a minute. But as we scroll down, you'll see we've really filtered it into some really simple sections for you, for what you want to achieve. So we've got the Learn Zenler, we've got the Zenler Marketing. If you want to learn how to do a bit more marketing, we've got the Zenler Extras, which is all the ninja tricks and the bit more advanced bits that don't really fit anywhere else. But you might want to, if you've been around a while, you might want to go and have a look in there. And we've got the boot camps. Now, we have created a quick start guide, and anybody that joins now should automatically be emailed a direct link to this, because the quick start guide it takes the overwhelm away for you. It's where you need to, how you set your account up. It shows you all of the one-off things that you need to do to have a site that's operating for you. There's a checklist there for you as well. It takes between 2 to 4 hours to do. You haven't got to do it all in one go. Just like all of the courses that you will create, you can see, as David's showing you here, there's different elements. We've broken it right down for you. So you can just come in and do 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and just take your time. Now, once you've done that bit, and that will set up the core of your site. So it will do your custom domain name if you want to do that, your branding, colors, all those bits and pieces, you can then go into the complete guide to Zenler. Now, this is the big course. It covers everything. But what we've done is we've made it really easy for you. So we've put a search button in here. So if you're looking to, let's say you want to create a lead magnet or your first funnel, you would type funnel in there, for example, and it will come up with all of the trainings we've created that have that particular key tag in it. That will help you filter through what you're looking to achieve. And that works the same if you type in blog, for example, it will do the same thing. So when you're coming into this area, rather than like, I always use the analogy of if you're looking for a word, say you're looking to spell tutorial in a dictionary, you don't start at A and flip through every single page. You jump to the T's and then you find what you're looking for. And it saves you a huge amount of time. So work this training exactly the same way. Come in on the home page, find what you want to do. If you want to do marketing, go into the marketing area. If you want to learn a specific part of the Zenler site, go in there and use the search element. If you're brand new, always go through the quick start guide. Now at the top, we've also added some stuff in. There'll be a couple of new pages in as well in the coming weeks, but we've got a resources button there, and that will go through some of the things that you might find it a little bit tricky to find. So the one that really stands out for me here is the new Zenler Changelog. So you might or might not know, we even have a status site for Zenler, just to show you how it's operating as a system right now. So you can click on any of those resources links and it will take you directly to where you need to go. Now that might not be in the tutorial site, it might be somewhere else, but it's a quick way of finding exactly what you're looking for. We've also got the paid plan comparison chart, which people are always asking for. Where do I find this? I want to, I've got someone that's interested in getting involved, but they want to compare stuff. That's where you find it. So the resources tab that we've got on the top now, the drop down menu, really, really important. Now, everything in this site is free. We've built it. The development team here have built it. So the educational team, we want you to use this effectively. So if you've not yet subscribed to it, and you should have done, then go to tutorial.newzenler.com and go and sign up, and you'll get access to all of that if you wish. The next place to look is on our YouTube channel. Now, we do have videos that go on there that don't go anywhere else. So go over to youtube.com/c/Zenler and go and hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when new videos get put up. Now, we do purposely have videos here that don't go anywhere else because they don't always fit everywhere else. The tutorial site, we want to keep really educational for you. We want to make sure there's trainings in there. On YouTube, we've got stuff like the replays of office hours, which is informational. It's not educational. So things like that, things like the pro user interviews, doesn't really fit on the tutorial site, but it certainly does fit here. And it is a point of interest for people that are using Zenler. We've got the Days with Zenler replays are on here, which are phenomenal. We've got another one coming up this week, if you've not been on those yet. And all sorts of other bits and pieces. We've got the Ask Zenlers as well. So there are things here that you won't find anywhere else. And as you can see by the amount of views, by the time they were uploaded, it's current, it's up to date. We're putting stuff in there pretty much every week. So have a look and a browse through. Of course, on YouTube, you've got the search feature there as well. So again, if you're looking for something in particular, and to be honest, this is probably a better place to go and search if something's not quite working right on your site, because maybe someone's had the same problem and we've done an Ask Zenler on it or Facebook help on there, and we've come up and shown them either a workaround or a solution to their specific case study. So that's always a good place to go and look. The last place that we'll look is where you are right now, which is in the Facebook group. And the Facebook group has a couple of areas that are really important. The announcement tab is the first one to go and look at. Now, I've cleaned this up last week, so there are not 1,000 announcements anymore. It only goes back as far as 2021. So it's all current, it's all up to date. I've stripped out a lot of the ones that we mark up, like the Wow Wednesdays that we mark up each week, taking them out. So there's not a lot to scroll through here, but this is the stuff that's either really current or really important that you need to take a look at. So the Facebook feed is normally really busy. In any one day, we can get 50 plus posts go up, plus comments on older posts. So the feed is constantly churning. So the announcement tab allows us as a team to highlight things that we feel will be really beneficial for you to take note of. The next place is to go and look onto the More tab and go onto events. These are the live events coming up, and you will see we've got office hours, obviously, next week. We've got a day with Zenler coming up. We've got a live workshop, Zen Chat on Monday. So it's been a while on that, but I'm looking forward to that. And on this, all you need to do is, if you see it and you want to go, just click that you're going. It will send you a reminder. If you click into the event, and I will remind you about Zen Chat, loads of you have said you're going, but none of you have registered. So you need to register to actually go along to it. So click that you're going, that will give you a Facebook reminder. And you can look through some of the past events as well. But these are the live workshops that we do against the tutorial site, which is stuff that we've done. It's been recorded. It's, you know, tutorials in that side of things. This is all live, interactive. It's happening in the moment. Now, the replays, as we've seen, of office hours going to YouTube. The replays of Day with Zenler going to YouTube, and things like that. So it's a really important place to go and have a look. And all of these resources, of course, are done for you so you can get the most out of your new Zenler experience, because we want you to use this platform to the fullest of how you want to use it for your business. And the only way, in our experience, that we see how you will do that is not just provide the platform, not just provide here's a training manual, but actually get involved with you as a community and help you along the way, which is why we do the networking. It's why we do the boot camps. It's why we do the live challenges. It's why we do all of these things, because one of the team are there. You can ask us, we can get involved, we can create something new for you. And, you know, that will help you move forward in the way you need to move forward. So all of those resources are free of charge. We do not charge a penny for any of those. So please, all you've got to do is find the one you want to get involved in, register if you need to register, or just turn up. And the more you do that, the more familiar you'll get with New Zenler, which means the more comfortable you'll get in actually putting courses out and putting marketing materials out. And that in turn will mean that you're more successful in earning more cash for your business using New Zenler as a tool to create revenue for you. And that's ultimately what we want to help you do. So look out for all of those, have a browse through and see what inspires you to get a little bit more involved than you may be. Right, let's move on to the next part of office hours. And this is one of my favourite parts. I always look forward to this each week. I don't always know what David's going to be doing it on, so it's always a bit of a surprise for me. But as the platform grows, we realise there are little bits and pieces that people may not have noticed, be familiar with, maybe they're a little bit frightened of, or not using properly. So we invented this particular slot in office hours just to spend a few minutes highlighting one thing each week that you can maybe take a look at if it's something that interests you or you want to implement into your site really quickly, that may have a big difference. So David, over to you for the feature focus slot, please.
Cheers, Kevin. Okay, so this week's feature focus, we're going to look at importing students and, of course, exporting students. Now, it's really important for you guys, especially if you're using a different mail program. Maybe you've already collected lists of people and you've got them in a Google Doc or something like that, and you need to get them into the system. Well, Zenler allows you to both export and import users. The only caveat is that it is a CSV file. Okay, now most mail programs, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, all export out as CSV files, so you should have no problem. But you can create your own. So what I've done here is I've got in my download folder basically a Google Sheet that I just produced about 10 minutes ago, and that's here. So this is the information I've got: first name, last name, and email. So this is what could be called a header field. And these are all my fake people that I'm going to import. So what I did inside of Google Sheets here was just went to here, download, and I download it as a CSV file. Okay, so from this point on, once I've got the download all active, and you can see it here, I can then import it into the system. Now, there's lots of things you can do on import. So you might have multiple sheets and you might want to tag people coming in on different sheets. Maybe you've got them from here or there and you want these tagged with this, these tagged with that. Well, you can do all that. You can just break your sheets up, import them in, and tag them on use. Now, I'm going to show you it in use so you can actually see what I mean, because it's easier to demo than it is to explain sometimes. So I'm going to go to import users. At the moment, we're importing them as a lead. Now, it's worth remembering that a lead means that they've come in through as a lead and they're not actually student in any of your courses. But it's up to you. You can actually import people in at different levels. You notice here, I'm in site and I'm in students. Now, if I click the import here, it's only going to let me import as a student, okay? So you can go to each one and not be confused by which one you're going to import in. But if I go to all here, now it's going to give me an option. So if I go to import user, I can select which role I want them imported in as. So I'm going to select lead to start with, and then I'm going to choose my CSV file, which is all in my downloads folder. And there it is there. And I'm going to click open, and that's going to click next. And the next thing it tells you is it actually shows you the fields of your data sheet. So the top field. So you got first name, last name. Remember, it's exactly the same as this here. And you'll also see that it says CSV column header here. So you can tie these up. So this is the data sheet fields, and this is where you want that information to go. Now, luckily, I've named mine correctly, first name, last name, email. So it's automatically picked them up. But if you had this, maybe you'd had this called name and you had this called surname, then you might have to select where it goes. And you can see the selection. So first name goes into first name. You've got last name goes into last name, of course, all important. Email. You could also put phone number, address, city, zip, all this stuff you can put in there. But this is all correct, so I'm ready to move on. So I click next. And this is going to then move me to the next field in a second. There we go. So it's going to ask me now, do I want to tag these? So I could tag these users. This is what I said. If you have multiple CSV files, you could tag them differently. So I'm going to call this, let's call this MailChimp. Let's pretend I've exported a MailChimp document here and I want to use that as my tag. So MailChimp. Now you can also put them straight into a funnel. So if you've got a funnel set up, you can send them straight into a funnel for automations. You can also send them into a live webinar as well. So if I want to auto register them into a live webinar, I can do it here. I'm just going to leave it on add tag and I'm going to click finish. It's going to say, okay. And you won't see anything happen because it takes a little bit of time for it to upload. But I've noticed it's really quick. And if I just refresh here, it will go almost immediately. There we go. So we've got all our people are now registered in here. Now you can see that they have been tagged with MailChimp. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to change their role to a student. So there'll be a lead and a student. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export out. So I'm going to go down to leads. So I don't want to bring the admin. Got lead role here. I'm going to now export. So I'm going to export these. So I'm exporting them out. You're going to see it goes to people _ list. And now I'm going to import them in again over the top. And I'm going to change this role to students. So I'm going to go into student now, and I'm going to go import users. I'm going to go and find the file, which is people list that I just exported it out of. I'm going to click next. Going to leave all this. Notice that it's set up more columns here, but I don't need to touch these. They're all correct. I'm going to click next. I can add another tag if I want to. I can now, because they're a student, put them into a course if I want to. And this is not duplicating the data. This is modifying the data. So I could put these all into a course now. So if I select a plan and I could put them into a funnel, I could put them into a live class now because they're coming as students. Remember, they were coming in as leads before. So you could only put them into webinars because they're not registered on the system as a student. So now I have the option of putting them into a live class or a live webinar. And I can also send a notification with a password link as well, because of course these guys haven't set up a password because you're importing them in. So I'll turn that off because I don't need it for these test students, and I'm going to click finish. So I'm going to click OK to that, and I'm going to hit the refresh on here. And what you're going to see now is that they have come in as students. and they still got the MailChimp log. So it's just updated it. And you'll notice I enrolled them in a course. So let's just check that they've been enrolled. I'm going to go into one of these here, going to go into course and look down there. I've been enrolled in that course as well. And of course, if I put that password link to send out to them, they would have received an email saying change your password or set your password. They would then go in with their email and their password, and they would get straight into this course. So I've manually bulk enrolled students into there. So it's as simple as that. You can go in with these things and you can export them out, modify them, bring them back in. It will not delete the data out. It will modify the data. So that's it. It's quite a big one, but it's quite easy. Once you get used to it, start playing around with it, do it with one or two, test how it's working, always test, and you'll see that it's really easy to do this sort of stuff inside of Zenler. Over to you, Kevin.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Another really good feature focus, and it's one that people do ask a lot. They don't really understand how to move students in and out of a system, how to tag people properly or any of that. And that sort of covers it quite nicely. There's always more to learn, of course. If you want a deep look into that, go to the tutorial site and go and look at it, importing and exporting contact students and all of that, and it will come up with more detailed information for you. Right, let's head over to questions, because we've got a couple of questions coming as we've been gabbing away. You lot have been reasonably busy. I've got to say, you've been a bit lazy the last couple of weeks with your questions. So next week, I'm hoping that there's going to be more coming in, but we've got a couple in this week, so that's brilliant. So John's got a question. So hi, John, good to see you here live with us. So, and this is actually a really interesting one. So John's question is, recurring count limit for live classes is based on registrations rather than attendees. Attendees usually are 40 to 50% of registrations. Is there a way the constraint can be applied to attendees only?
Yeah. Hey, John. Good to see you here. Yeah. Currently, the working is the way you mentioned. It's based on the number of people registering. It's not based on the number of attendees. Yeah, it's something we'll probably look at later. But currently, it is the number of registrations. Again, what happens if you send to, let's say, 300 attendees, and if all of them try to get in, that also can happen. So yeah, so currently it's based on a number of registrations.
But that may well change in the future, Rakesh. It
may change depending on, yeah, it's too early to tell, but I think I've seen a lot of people asking for it. We may do something about that.
Yeah, I think you've got a good point, John, because if you've got a series based on you've got to attend the first one for the second one to make sense, then really you only want to send it to the people that have been to the first one rather than everybody that registered. So I completely get your point of where you're coming from with that. As you've heard from Rakesh, he's going to look at it and the team will make a decision on that at some point, and hopefully we'll have some news for you in the near future on that one. But certainly it's on our radar now to take a bit of a deeper look at. So fantastic. Thank you for your question. Hi, Alice. Good to see you here. Having Thanksgiving and lots of turkey, I hope. But let us know how it's going over there in the good old US of A. Shame you're not with us, but fully understand why not. Kevin Layla, good to see you here. Thank you for your questions. There's a couple of questions here, so let's go through these one by one. Question we're getting asked almost daily now. And I think we did address it last week in office hours, and we will address it again this week because it is an important one. So the first question is, when is new Zenler getting out of beta and going live? And when it goes out of beta, other than price, will there be a big change to the platform use, like the unlimited trial, etc.?
Cool. I'll take that. Hey, Kevin, good to see you here. As Kevin said, this is a very commonly asked question. We run beta differently from other platforms. We don't have an exact date for the launch, but we can actually take off the beta tag today. But we want to do it only after we finish the features that we have set out on the roadmap. So we want to squeeze all of that before we launch. The main features that are coming up, I think I already went through it a few minutes ago. I think the first thing we're going to address is we're going to increase the upload limit to 2 gig. and we're going to add live class lesson type. Basically, you'll be able to stream live a live session into a live class without needing registration and so on. And also, we are going to add live pricing into live classes and live webinars so that you can sell your live classes and live webinars. And for European Indian sellers, we're going to add tax categories and also bulk actions for bulk deletion, bulk enrollment, and so on. And the biggest work that is going to take a couple of months and so or more is the new page editor, the big revamp that we are working on. We're going to revamp the entire page editor, and it's going to work based on themes, and we're working on making it faster, and so that we have an entire new code base for the new page editor, which is faster, and it does so much better page load speeds and so on. And also it will work just like it works on Shopify or WordPress. We'll have a list of themes you can select, you can work on it and then push it live, and then boom, your entire site theme changes. Now that's a big work. And apart from that, we are working on several secret stuff. You're going to hear from us about that soon. Not ready to reveal on all of that secret stuff as of now, but we'll keep you posted. Yeah, the pricing when we launch, there will always be a free trial, like a 14-day trial or 30-day trial for paid plans. So users will be able to try it out before they make a decision. Regarding free trial, what happens to the free beta right now is a bit too early to tell, but most likely the free beta plan will switch to a pretty limited beta. In a nutshell, we want users to be committed to make the platform work for them and to get most of the platform. We don't want it to end up like a backup system for them. Yeah, so in a nutshell, we may still have the free beta plan, but it will limit to some sort of a pretty limited beta with pretty limited features, but they should probably be able to use that fine. But for getting the most out of the platform, they need to be on Pro and Premium Pro plan at least.
Perfect. I think that answers all of your questions, Kevin. And of course, as a regular watcher of Office Hours, and I know you're here every single week, you'll have heard some of that stuff because we cover often questions like that come into Office Hours. So, but we're not going to give away the crown jewels. We're not going to tell you every single thing that's being released next year. We've got to keep you waiting with anticipation and excitement for what's coming through. But we did, over the last year or so, release a lot of features, a lot of new things into the platform. And, you know, the last sort of 3 or 4 months, we've been working on making sure they work better, they're more stable. We've had little refinements in there, you know, so we're not just going to constantly be one of those platforms that's banging out new features, because what will happen is half of them won't work and everyone will go, well, this is rubbish, it don't work. And we don't want to be that platform. We want to be the platform with excellence. So we're going to carry on in the way that we are. We're going to refine, we're going to make sure they're working the best possible way, and features will get released at the appropriate time. Some of that will be community led. So in the Facebook group, you can always go in there. There's a feature request page. You can add your feature requests in there. We will look at that. You can come on Office Hours and say, I'd really like this, in which case, like we've done with John already, we'll consider that and see whether that fits into the plan for the next 12 to 24 months. And if possible, some things are easier than others. The things that we look at that we think, well, it's really simple to do that, are often the most technical things. So we can't always do things in a speedy fashion. But what you've got here against a lot of the other LMS systems is that we're here and we're listening, and we will seriously take note of what you request. So Office Hours is a great place to come along and make those requests. Alice is saying hi. John's saying, so we can involve students into recurring live classes, so he's really happy. So
yeah, can I join in there? John, that's a typical case what John just said there, because that actually is a new feature that's been put into the platform. So lots of these little things that happen on the site, extra things are popping up, and sometimes it's not even talked about because it's just put into the platform. So that particular one I know will really help John with what he's trying to achieve. So that's why he's really happy.
Yeah, perfect. And this is the point of the feature focus. is although we will do the videos that go out onto YouTube when we release a new part or a feature, sometimes people just don't see it. And the more places we can highlight it and the more different ways we can do that, hopefully we get one person come off of a live today going, wow, that's amazing. We've done a good job today. So where are we? Answer John. Alice is good. Traffic was terrible. One kid sick in her car. Hopefully they weren't sitting behind you. Bergier, well done, Bergier. I'm really pleased you're here and welcome. Hashtag live from Sweden. Absolutely nailed it. So brilliant. Remember your hashtags. Hashtag live, what country you're in. Hashtag replay, same premise. I say it every week, we do cover a lot of countries around the world with New Zenler. Hence why we alternate office hours, 5 p.m. GMT nowadays. 10 a.m. GMT the following week. So we try and capture people live where we possibly can. We've even started doing the boot camps similarly, where we'll do some in the afternoons, UK time, some in the mornings where we can, just to try and capture people live. Okay, so Bergier, well done. John's celebrating because we are able to automatically enroll bundle buyers into courses, but not recurring live classes. What you showed enables me to enroll bundle buyers into lives, which is fantastic. Okay, so Roy, I'm sure I've said that wrong, but I'll call you Roy because I'm not very good at pronouncing names, so I apologise if I get it wrong. First time in office hours, so welcome to office hours. Great to see you here, and you have a question. So can you use a quiz as a landing page or in a landing page? I saw they're limited to course content. Great question.
Yeah, Roy, I think Rakesh has put the link there to the video. We just did one. We showed you how to create a kind of which could be used for quiz or a survey using multiple pages within the site and branching off depending on what answer they gave or which answer they clicked. So this was done to show you how to do it in pages, but a little bit of a sneak preview is I'm going to show you how to do exactly the same thing using a marketing funnel. And we're going to be doing that with a day on Zenler, and we're going to be doing that on Friday. And I think that's in the first slot. So I think it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. There's be a replay there. So you'll see me create the same thing, much easier to do it inside a funnel because it self-contains. But watch that video that Rakesh put up for you, because that will demonstrate how you can do it in a page. And it's quite good to get you thinking outside the box with these kind of things.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. So that's all of the questions right now. So we've run over on office hours, which is absolutely fine. Alice is happy about that, David. So I think she'll be joining you watching that as well. Quizzes are great. We know that they work in all sorts of manner of ways because we get people interacting. So it's going to be a good one to keep your eye on that for Friday. So let's start wrapping up.
Done to show you how.
So, remember, for me, let's go around the room. That's what I normally do when we wrap up. So we've been through all of the tutorial stuff. We've been through all of the new stuff that's coming through. So if you didn't manage to watch us at the beginning of office hours, the replay will be in the Facebook group. Then it will move on to YouTube. By all means, do watch where you can. Do you have anything else for this week, Rakesh? Is there anything you've missed?
Nothing else from my end.
Nothing else from your end. David, anything for this week? I'm sure there is.
Yeah, just a couple of things. We've already mentioned it a couple of times, but we like a lot of people to turn up. So if you go to our Facebook group, go into events, go down to David Zender session 1 and 2, you'll see that they give a schedule of what's going on during the day. And there's quite a lot going on. I'm doing lots and lots of little tutorials, taking little breaks between them, but we've got a stacked lot of stuff going through. Now, also, just quickly, on the tutorials.newzenler site, make sure you check out this live class workshops. These happen every Sunday. These workshops are kind of mentorship, so they're going from week to week, and I've actually created a course behind it. It's a secret course, so if you go in here, join us live, you're going to see all the information you need inside there. And this happens every Sunday, 10 a.m. GMT time, and I think that's 9 p.m. AED DT time until it changes and confuses us all. So that's it from me, Kevin.
Right. I'll take Alice's slot as she's not here. Now, as you know, Alice is a reasonably new member to the education team. Every week she's running live webinars. for people that you want to be introduced to New Zenler, what its capabilities are, what it can do, how it stacks up against other LMS systems, and to answer beginner questions. So if you are a partner of New Zenler, or if you're thinking about getting more involved in New Zenler, you don't really understand the platform right now, then they're weekly webinars that are run, of course, free of charge. Do look out on the schedule, or on it's webinars.newzenler.com, I believe, is the site where you can find those as well. We're also Alice is running onboarding sessions. So if you're a pro or premium user, and these are limited places, so if you register for it, you've got to sort of turn up, because these are really valuable sessions. So if you're pro or premium user, then Alice will do an onboarding session with you. So this is a deeper look into your account, the behind the scenes of New Zenler, and answer a few more questions for you. Now, they're much smaller groups of people. It's very interactive as well. So do look out for those. And they're being run every single week. So if you fit the bill for either of those, or you know someone that wants to come to the webinar, then please do invite them along. For me, a couple of things. So we've got Zen Chat happening on Monday. So if you've not been along to one of those yet, they're growing in popularity. It's where I get members from our community talking to each other. That's the bottom line of it. You know, doing a bit of networking. We've had lots of different countries represented so far. Lots of people are coming back each time we run these, and people are starting now to see the opportunity in doing that. They're taking conversations further than the networking event itself. So do come along to that. Again, free to attend. Look in the events tab. You'll see when and how you can register for that. Last thing for me is next week. Office hours, as I say, 5 p.m. GMT this week. Next week it will be 10 a.m. GMT. So if you can make that live, or you know someone that can't make this one, but can make that one that's in the group, someone that you maybe have invited into New Zenler, then do remind them that office hours is live. It's here for you. We will answer your questions if you come along, and we'll give you a quick guided tour of the resources available to you, as well as our feature focus. And every week that will be something different. So look out for that. That's all from me. I have nothing else to add. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you on Friday at some point. You haven't got to be there all day long, but look at the schedule, find the bit that interests you, get involved. And David's going to be running that. I'll be hopping in and out, and we'll see where we go with that. But it should be they've proved to be a really valuable day for people. So go and register for that and watch that. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the group. Have fun using the Zenler. And if not before, we'll see you at one of our events, or next week at office hours. But for now, thanks everyone, and see you all soon.
See you.
Bye.